Now's the time when we can maybe start looking to increase our speed. Stay focused on the movie, increase your pace. In fact, you might notice that as you increase your speed, you're not sounding out the words anymore. This is a good sign, because what we want is to retain the meaning of what we read, not the words. Trust yourself, trust your imagination. Keep increasing your reading speed. This is like a separate exercise. Every so often, push yourself. Increase your reading speed for 5 or 10 minutes. Even past the point where your movie is where you're getting all the information. Maybe increase your speed so that you're only getting 95 or 90% of the information on the page. And this is a great practice, because sometimes you want to read and you may not want to remember everything. You may want to read to see what you don't need. You may be looking for something in a book, a particular passage or a particular fact. So you don't want to have to read that whole book or that whole essay or whatever it is. You may want to just read through it at a speed that maybe 400, 600, 800 words a minute, where you're not trying to retain all the information. You are looking for something specific. So you're reading to see what you don't have rather than reading to get everything. So I myself have several reading strategies. When I'm scanning a book that I've maybe let's say a book on dyslexia. I've read 80 books on dyslexia. This is my 81st book on dyslexia. So I'm going to read that book at probably over 1,000 words a minute, and until I come to something that's very interesting, something that I don't recognize, and now I'm going to slow down to maybe 400 words a minute, maybe even 200 words a minute, and really soak in that information. And I may use some of the tricks that we teach in our spelling and vocabulary, Spelling Made Easy course, for memorizing some of that information. I may use my visual notes that we'll show you in a minute here. So, but the point is that I may use a very different strategy to find information, and then another reading strategy to actually absorb and retain that information. One of the things that you might focus on is sight words for children. And I'm actually going to say not a lot of the words that we typically focus on when we're learning to read, which is nouns and verbs: dog, cat, boat, cow, house, boy, girl. You know, those things most people have some conception of, and they will tend to recognize and learn those words fairly easily. The words that I would focus on are the are the pronouns and conjunctions and articles, prepositions. These are some of the words that are a little harder for kids, especially to remember, because they don't have any specific meaning. Sitting on what? Talking to who? Over what? So when you're learning these words, it may help to use something like our spelling strategy or some other strategy, but to use the words in context. You know, in the mountain, in the boat, or I should say on the mountain, or in the boat, or making lunch, or putting on my shoes, standing in the rain. So the list is here. There's about 220 of them or so, that pretty common words that again, these are helpful to memorize because they're not as easy to visualize as your typical nouns and verbs and adjectives.